Welcome to Tuesday's Training Tips with Tuff. I am Kristi May, founder and CEO of Legend Acres and Legends Heroes. And today we're here to talk about February. I know that it's only January 30th. However, we are coming to the end of January Trainuary, is what we coined it here at Legend Acres. And we are swiftly moving into February. February is Dog Training Education Month and Responsible Dog Owners Month. So with that, we are coining February Teachuary and Respectable Relations. And today we're going to talk about courteous greetings. And so introductions. So not only introductions to other people, but also to other dogs. And I just want to point out that this is one of the most important pieces of responsible dog ownership, is being your dog's advocate and advocating not only for the greetings that come into your dog space, but also what you allow into other dog spaces. It is your responsibility to respect other dogs and other people's boundaries with your dog and to not come into that space unless you're invited. Also, teaching dogs courteous greetings is a key aspect of building a strong bond, with your dog and also with other people and other dogs. You want your dog to have good relationships with other people and other dogs. So, an impact of a dog's behavior on a greeting can make or break not only that interaction that you have with that dog or that person, but also any future interactions. So it's really important that good greeting habits are started right away from the beginning. And if that's something you're not sure how to do, please reach out to us and we can definitely help you do that. I'm just going to give you a couple of tips here in the best way that you can set up your dog for success in greetings. So first of all, whether they're greeting another dog and people, being at the end of their line, their leash, with you going and pulling on the end of it, not a good time for greeting. Your dog is definitely overstimulated, whether it's for a person or approaching another dog. You need to get out of there as fast as you can, turn off that dog's emotion, and come back in when they're more calm. Because when we allow our dogs to be over threshold and go into another dog's space, we are setting that introduction up for failure. Because not all dogs like to be greeted in that way. And it's especially important here to remember that dogs do not greet face to face. Dogs don't greet linear. Dogs greet in a circle. And so when two dogs are brought up on pulling leashes tight like this, this equals disaster. So this is not how dogs greet. And then keeping them just inches apart from each other is going to cause one of those dogs or both of those dogs' emotional levels to go up and go over threshold. And then you've got an explosion and then you've got a dog fight. So you have to remember that emotion is energy and that it's matched. So what happens when you're driving down the highway and you're driving, let's say you're like 1 over the speed limit and you're in the fast lane because everybody else was going really slow. And all of a sudden this guy in the middle lane starts to kind of creep up on you. What is your automatic reaction to do? It is to speed up. It's not slow down. You speed up to match him. Now here's the thing. Here's what happens is that now that this energy has been matched, we're now driving 80 miles an hour down the highway. You're waiting for this guy to slow down and this guy's waiting for you to slow down and nobody's slowing down. And next thing you know, you're drag racing. So at some point, one of you has to be the adult and say, I really don't want to get pulled over for driving 80 in a 65 at this point. And so I'm going to slow down. The thing is that when you've got a dog that's up here at 80 miles an hour, even if you're coming in to greet a dog that's down here at 10 miles an hour, your dog is going to bring this dog up and they're going to match. And so when you've got two dogs greeting at 80 miles an hour, this always equals disaster. So if this dog is down here at 10 and your dog is here at 80, you need to turn around and leave. And if you're not able to bring your dog from 80 down to a 10 to match this dog, or even 5 points either way, you've got to be somewhere in this range to meet this dog. Because if you don't, you're going to bring this dog up. And so making sure that you understand your dog's body language here is very important. So when a dog is uncomfortable or they're up here at threshold, you're going to see behaviors such as tall dog. That's when your dog gets really tall, like they push out those front legs, they puff up that chest, and that's called tall dog. They'll get stiff. That tail will stop wagging okay, at a relaxed, and sometimes it goes up and it'll just be a little bit to the right, okay, or that tail will go down, okay, but it is not a relaxed wag at all. Their hackles will raise, and some dogs start to get vocal and will really start to pull on the end of that leash. If you're experiencing any of those things, turn around and go. That is not an appropriate greeting for a dog. So we cover proper greetings and how to turn off this emotion if you've got a dog that's up here at 80 and you have a really hard time greeting other dogs and other people. And so we have a behavior modification workshop that covers this. What do I do when my dog is here and I need them to be down here? Okay. And so there is a workshop that is available on demand, and there's also in-person workshops, and I'll post that in the comments section here. So that way you can access those. But those are some important things to know about interacting. And the same thing is true when they're interacting with people. Now, I do have to say, if you're greeting another person and that person is inviting your dog to jump on them and be excited and be all wound up, that's invited behavior. And so you cannot be on your dog about that behavior. So for example, if your dog is being nice and calm and somebody comes up and says, "Oh, what a cute little dog, can I pet your dog?" and is leaning down and being all in and hugging your dog and doing all that, and the dog picks their feet up off the ground, that's on that person. That's not on your dog. That is not inappropriate interaction. That was invited interaction. Same thing is true with kids. If you've got a child who was offered a candy, okay, by a stranger, but your children don't get candy very often, the thing is that you can't say no. It's already been handed to them. Okay, so you have to sometimes let that go in that one. Now you can instruct the person who's interacting with your dog on how you would like them to interact with your dog. That's how you can change that. You can say things like, "Well, let me go ahead and get them into a sit, and then you can pet them." Okay. Oh, and I prefer if you don't talk to them in that way. It gets them very excited. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with you leading those interactions. In fact, that is your job as a responsible dog owner, is to lead those interactions with other dogs and with other people. Okay, so if you want to discourage your dog from jumping and excessive excitement on people, I want you to ask them to do a sit. Okay, sit calmly. I want you to reward and praise for those good behaviors. And there's nothing wrong with you jackpotting your dog, okay, 5 or 6 cookies for sitting still while a stranger's petting them if your dog gets exuberant. It's my favorite word, by the way. If your dog is very exuberant around people and you want to create those calm greetings. Okay, so in conclusion, okay, the importance of teaching our dogs courteous greetings is a huge part of being a responsible dog owner. It is also your responsibility to not enter another person's or dog's space unless invited. So if you're on a leash and your dog is pulling you to go somewhere, you do not go with them. That is inappropriate behavior. Okay, now if they say, "Yes, we're able to greet," then you can go into that dog's space. Okay, but unless you're invited, allowing your dog to go into other dogs' spaces uninvited is very rude behavior on the dog and on you yourself. And that is not being a responsible dog owner. Okay, make sure that you are being consistent in your training techniques and responses. So what I mean by that is if your dog's up here at 80 and you don't allow them to greet, okay, then you don't ever allow them to greet at 80. You only allow them to greet down here, because then what you're doing is through training, you're teaching your dog that the only way to get in to do that greeting, which is what they really want in the first place, okay, is to have calm behavior going into that. Okay, so responsible dog ownership goes beyond providing food, water, shelter, and veterinary care to your dogs. It extends to fostering positive behaviors and interactions, particularly in public spaces. Teaching our dogs good greeting habits is a crucial responsibility that not only enhances their well-being, but also contributes to a harmonious community. By investing time and effort in training for polite greetings, we not only showcase our commitment to responsible pet ownership, but also ensure that our furry companions positively contribute to the world around them. Remember, a well-mannered dog is a reflection and a dedication of a conscientious and responsible dog owner.